Hey, what's up everybody, this is Means24, and today I'm going to take a look at the Guardians of the Galaxy and All New X-Men crossover, the Trial of Jean Grey, mini-event here. This is, as the name implies, a crossover between the current Guardians of the Galaxy run and the current X-Men run, and to my understanding, the All New X-Men stuff deals with this younger team, whereas the main X-Men stuff is still dealing with the modern-day team. I know there's some spin-off stuff for Gambit, and other characters. I believe Wolverine has his own solo run right now. Admittedly, I haven't followed a lot of X-Men stuff in recent years, so I'm not the biggest expert on that, but I have been trying to follow the Guardian stuff, all the Cosmic Marvel stuff from the past 5-10 years or so, as much as I can, in preparation for future stuff with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and just because I like Cosmic Marvel stuff in general. I think it's just really cool and different from the superhero stuff. So, this story is set not long after the whole Angela volume in the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff, as she is present in the majority of the story here, as is the core team of the Guardians. And apparently, at some point in the X-Men storyline, there was some time travel involved that the younger versions of Cyclops, Beast, Jean Grey, Iceman, and Archangel came to the present and ended up in the sort of care of Kitty Pryde and X-23. I don't know if those two characters kind of both took over sort of the, babysitter role for the characters at the same time, or if it was just Kitty Pryde first and X-23 kind of came into the picture. But it's modern-day X-23 and Kitty Pryde with the younger versions of the other X-Men, the sort of the core team of the X-Men, the main old team of X-Men there. And so you have them dealing, one, with this whole world they don't understand because they're from the past, and also this whole world they don't understand because it's space, it's Cosmic Marvel, it's supposed to be separate from the Earth superhero routine. As I mentioned in the first volume of Guardians of the Galaxy, the review that I did on that, the Earth sphere, I guess you'd say, like Earth and its surrounding space stations and all that, are supposed to be off limits to the rest of the galaxy because it's too dangerous and unpredictable with all the magic and superheroes and mutants and so on and so forth. The rest of the galaxy is not supposed to touch Earth. Obviously, that doesn't hold true for very long because the Guardians travel to Earth in the first volume and they're coming back here in this third volume. Or not, well, it's not technically the third proper volume of Guardians of the Galaxy. That one doesn't come out until the fall, but this is, I consider this to be like the third entry in the trades of the Guardian stuff. That said, it does deal more heavily plot-wise with the X-Men. You're going into space and having sort of an adventure out of that, but the plot is always centered around the X-Men. And the premise of this is that there are certain alien groups out there that want to put Jean Grey on trial for a crime she has not yet committed. They want to put her on trial for the whole Phoenix Force event, even though this is a Jean Grey who doesn't know about the Phoenix Force, who doesn't know what she's going to become, as a host for the Dark Phoenix there. She doesn't fully understand it, and so a lot of this deals with her trying to wrestle with what's going on, and pleading that she's innocent, she hasn't done anything yet. And then the other part of it is the Guardians and the rest of the X-Men team sort of tracking her down and trying to find a way to bust her out of her little prison there. That's basically the best summary I can give, because there isn't a whole lot else happening here. There's some little subplots here and there that sort of spawn out of this that I assume will be running in other X-Men stories and maybe some other Marvel storylines and stuff, but this is really just kind of an intermediary lull between volumes 2 and then the proper volume 3 of the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. As far as the X-Men side of things, I can't really speak for that as much as to how this fits into the grand picture because, like I said, I don't read that much of the modern X-Men stuff. But this whole hardcover routine still holds up really well. I love the fact they're doing that now because you're basically paying the same thing as you would for the paperbacks. So the artwork here is pretty cool. It's obviously a shot of everyone of the heroes involved. And I'm not always hot on these, like, throw all the characters on the front of the cover here, but it's not half bad. I mean, obviously you got Rocket, Groot, Gamora, Drax, Angela, and Star-Lord there with the X-Men behind them. I think, in truth, it probably should have been the other way with the X-Men in the foreground and those Guardians in the background, but just because they're less of a focus there. But I get that they're trying to push the Guardian stuff for the movie coming out and all that, and obviously that's part of the reason that I got into reading Guardians more now. So there in the back, you have a little description there, like space and time collide, got some crazy stuff going on there, character shots on the back, and then the artwork is very similar to what we've had in the previous volumes of the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff. We have some individual volume artwork, if I can flip to it, that is pretty cool. Again, here we have a kind of a shot of all the main characters there with Peter Quill and Groot and Drax and all them in the background there. We have some cool, full panel shots there of the characters. And I do like what they do with the lighting effects here. I mentioned in my Nova reviews that the lighting effects in some of the more recent Cosmic Marvel stuff have been really cool. And the way that they sort of play the colors off of those. Like here we have a ship being shot at there and some of the explosions coming off the side of it. So there is plenty of action in this, which is nice. It does kind of get bogged down by running the dialogue in circles, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, here's what I'm talking about more with like the lighting and colors here. Here we have Peter Quill in a bar, and you can just see sort of the backgrounds there and how much time and effort they put into that. But the dialogue does bog this down a bit, and the characters that I want to see shine more only get so much time in the spotlight. Like, they make a few quick jokes about Iceman here and there, and they make, a few scenes for Angela and Drax to have their, moments of glory in battle there. Groot kind of gets pushed to the wayside. It's mainly about Jean Grey. Quite a bit about Cyclops, surprisingly, which I'm not that much a fan of Cyclops. I know Cyclops is one of those X-Men characters where it's very much a love it or hate it sort of a thing, and I'm just not really the biggest fan of Cyclops. So the fact that he's such like an important part of that kind of turned me off to a little bit. Like, I don't mind Jean Grey taking the spotlight because the Phoenix Force does have some ties to the Cosmic Marvel stuff. And Peter Quill and Kitty Pryde both have a decently important role in this whole thing. But like Rocket's not super important. The other mutants really don't do a whole lot in the grand scheme of things there. Like X-23, the only reason I remember that she's in this is because I mentioned her basically at the beginning and the end. And yeah, it's an interesting concept for a crossover event, but the ultimate end game isn't really that exciting, and it spawns off into other stuff. Like I said, this is more like a setup for something else than a full-fledged story. Well, I mean, it's a mini event, so it's not going to be quite as impressive as some of the major crossover events they have. But I don't know, it was just sort of okay. It was interesting for something different, but it didn't keep my attention as well as the main Guardian stuff. Didn't impress me as much as the other Guardian stuff had been doing up to this point. So I'm kind of glad that we got over this little hump here, because I know that what's coming in the next Guardians volume is going to be really important, really cool stuff, tying into the Thanos Imperative and the ramifications of that, and also like pushing further into more Guardians stuff with new characters popping up. I know that Venom's going to be in the newer issues that'll be collected in this next volume. I think Captain Marvel might be. I don't know. There was something weird with, like, she showed up in the Free Comic Book Day thing, but then not in the actual issue of the main retail releases, where she was on the cover of the artwork for one of them. She didn't actually pop up in the issue at all. So I don't know if she's actually in it, but she's on the cover of the collected volume. So hopefully she shows up. But it's just kind of cool to know where we're going. But this issue, or this volume rather, was just sort of okay. Nothing spectacular, just something different, I guess. We do have some cool artwork here in the back, though, of just, I think, just for fun sort of things, painting all the Guardians members as raccoons, and then Rocket as a human there, and then a bunch of the X-Men as different animals. You got Iceman as a penguin there, and presumably Beast as a monkey. But yeah, I guess if you're really big into both the Guardian stuff and the current X-Men run, might be worth checking out. As far as the Guardians side of things goes, it doesn't do a ton to really expand upon what we already knew, and I assume that you could probably jump into the next proper volume of collected works here without having read this and be just as well off, because there's not a whole lot that really affects the overall story for the Guardians as much as it does affect the X-Men. So that's pretty much it for this review, and with that, I will see you guys next time.